entire field needs to advance, not just their particular organ of interest. Instead of being the Peloponnesian states, it needs to be Greece, if you know what I'm saying. So if you could get that, that group, you'd be in the hundreds of thousands and millions of people, potentially, who care like crazy about solving this problem. I have one particular fellow who, as soon as he discovered that we were thinking about doing a prize, he sent $1,000. He had just had a heart transplant, and he expected he had about 10 years to go before that heart would no longer be viable. And I'll tell you what, he's a nag. So what I would love to do is to find a way to get him off my back and to become an advocate to bring in a bunch of other people and nag the right people, not me. So we have a website, we have a work product that's amazing, and with its introduction, if we could coordinate that into creating an organ needer community, give it a voice instead of hidden underground, that might be a very powerful thing to do.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the organizers and Josh for putting together this wonderful meeting. And I'll make a suggestion, thinking to the next step of the new organ alliance. That is to consider that an organ and a tissue is more than the sum of its cells. And there is an integrative function, which on one side comes to the vascular system, but also neurons in the tissue. So my suggestion would be to consider as a next goal, maybe a next challenge, innervation of tissue engineering constructs. So probably it's not early to start thinking about that. And I have some evidence that something like this is doable and probably highly necessary in long term. Thank you.
So I would also like to make a suggestion regarding metrics. I think you should put somewhere on your website dashboards, where exactly are we? You know, how many new organs are needed, how many people's lives are being saved, how many people are being lost, and keep that on a daily or weekly basis so that you can measure exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And the second thing I wanted to mention with regards to the roadmap is we often develop roadmaps that tell us where to go, but we often don't put in the roadmaps the places not to go, the swamps, the pitfalls. It's very, very difficult for people to publish and talk about their failures, but you often learn much more from the failures than from the successes. So I would encourage that as well.
Other comments on our next steps?
One of the things I've heard a number of people talk about big data and AI and machine learning and how that applies, and that's a community that I work a lot with, and I can tell you most of them are not thinking about organ level or tissue level constructs. They're thinking about molecular, so genes to small molecules or genes to biomolecules, but that's pretty much it. So I don't know if there are people who are interested in essentially framing the challenges that you have so they would be more understandable by the data science community. I'd be happy to help out with that.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Mark. But just one thought that I have as we're talking through is that as we develop this roadmap, we start to see a lot of challenges and challenge areas coming out. And we're starting to see more people from diverse fields coming in to think of, well, how do we tackle these? Thinking about big data, AI, all of the other enabling technologies that are out there. I mean, If you have colleagues or friends from other fields that you feel like you might have enabling technologies that could play a role in this, we'd love to connect with them. We'd love to bring them in, and to add into the enabling technology side, because that's really a big part of what this is about. Is that, how do we use new technology, new science to accelerate the bioengineering work that everybody's doing. So I would just encourage you guys to, as you're going forward and thinking about your own kind of next steps and your network that's out there, if there's somebody that might not be directly in the bioengineering space, but could play a role, we'd love to connect them and make them a part of this. Any last comments, other folks? Rachel? All right, so I have a few last comments then that we'll close out with. First of all, I want to thank all of our partners that have been a part of this so far. NASA, MONSI, thank you for everything that you guys have done with the Vascular Tissue Challenge. If you guys have any questions about the Vascular Tissue Challenge or just other things that NASA Centennial Challenges does, I'm sure MONSI and her team would love to talk with you. Lynn and the program officers here at NASA Ames have been a big part of making all of this happen. I know Michelle Grimm had to leave already, but from the National Science Foundation, Michelle and their office at the NSF have been a big part of everything. Mike and Jana and Rachel and the CASIS team, now Space Tango team, have been a big supporter of everything, and of course the CASIS Innovations in Space Award has a great opportunity for you guys, and the NSF CASIS collaboration is a great opportunity for you guys. There's a lot of new partners, I think, that we've recently met while we're out here. From the 3D Heals community that is really working on just bioprinting, well, 3D printing in a whole, but 3D printing for health. So definitely you can learn more about them. I think 3D Heals, for those who are in the area, is it tonight has a happy hour that is going to be going on up in Palo Alto. So there's information on the 3D Heals website, I believe, about if you want to go up for a happy hour and get to know more of the 3D Heals community. Jenny is also over here, so if you have any questions on that, you can talk to her. Who was NDRI, coming out, the FDA for coming out. All of our committee chairs have been a great, leader in this. If you're involved in our roadmap as a committee chair, could you guys just stand up for a minute? Committee chair or oversight committee. I want to give these guys a big round of applause and thank you. Because this roadmap would not be where we are without all the work that you guys are doing, and you're doing a great job, helping all of us just wrangle this together. So, if you are not already on a committee, please talk to one of the chairs, talk to me. We would love to get your input involved. If you have not turned in your sheets or given me feedback on the roadmap, please do so. If you want to think about it more, of course, you can email me later. I think everybody that's here has gotten my email. Thank you, of course, to the Methuselah Foundation. I don't know why I was about to forget you guys, but I think Dave and I have been working on this for so long. It's kind of just natural that, of course, Methuselah Foundation is there, but none of this could happen without the Methuselah Foundation as well. They really push the envelope on supporting this industry. So I hope everybody has had a chance to talk to Dave or Sergio working on the Methuselah Fund side of it. But they're a huge resource for all of this, and I think you guys will really enjoy getting to work with them. Thank you to everybody else, and I think this is the end of our road mapping summit. Please, again, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and we would love to be working with you guys more. I will definitely be following up with everybody on next steps and the feedback that we've gotten from this, so that we can take this forward and that we can actually hit these targets and really take it to that next level. So. Thank you all. I hope you have a great next few days, next week, next year, and we'll be working with you more soon.